know, why not talk about it? You know, that's the thing to talk about. Welcome to Practical Shooting After Dark. We're here to talk about shooting. On deck tonight, the Korean brothers, Mr. Kim, Mr. Park.
Hello.
Oh, guys.
We're going to be reunited tomorrow.
Professor. Oh, yeah. Finally.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a great time.
Be there tomorrow. All right. Well, I want to do a special episode, instead of the topics, normally we do that. But we've got a special event coming up, Joel.
We do.
So Training Group Summit is coming up this week for us. I'll be driving down there. I guess I drive down on Thursday morning, but I'll be seeing you guys soon enough.
Yes.
Yep. So Joel, where is it? What is it? And then we'll talk through some of the specifics.
Let's see. The summit is at My Range in Omaha.
Okay.
It's basically a nonprofit sharing of information. It's for training group members only. The tuition's $250, which, being straight with whoever's listening, I guess, it basically covers the instructors get at least an Airbnb, so they don't have to put up their own hotel, and basically they work for free for 3 days, sharing their knowledge and teaching the PSTG members. Yeah. Is that a fair way to say it?
I think that's pretty good. So we've done this 2 times previously, I think. In Wisconsin, it's moved now to Nebraska. I don't know what we're going to do next year, but
I don't know.
I guess we'll find out.
But anyway, I want to highlight, because I think that's quite different than other, what is it, symposium, synopsis, whatever the other conglomerate things are. This basically the money just covers what the range is going to charge me, and compensates the instructors a couple $100, and that's it. It's basically just a group of homeboys getting together to trade information, share knowledge, train together, get new perspectives. It's basically just a group of people that are pretty passionate about training and want to get better. I think that's pretty different than what anybody else is doing anyway. So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Ben.
No, I think that's good. So as you know, we can all go do training classes, where I get paid, do a class, bing, bang, boom, no problem. Done that plenty. But yeah, Summit is something different. It's not a for-profit type event. It is a little bit different. So the way that we've done it, and we're going to stick with that this year, is you organize the training into blocks, right? So instructor will put on a block, or a 2-hour block of training. Hey, this is the topic. People go to the block or they don't, whatever they decide to do. But this year's different, Joel.
Yes.
We've changed up the blocks pretty substantially.
We did. This year it'll be fun. We'll have there'll be 3-hour blocks, and they'll have 2 instructors in them. And the pairing for the instructors was done intentionally let's be real. All the instructor guys are strong at shooting and are really smart, but it's fun having people with different experiences, perspectives, different ways to, I don't know, probably not politically correct to say, but different ways to skin a cat, so to speak. So different approaches, different mindsets, different training theories, but it's really fun having, different perspectives in the class. So an example of some of the blocks will be our friend John Anderson and Professor Kim. John's kind of a man of few words sometimes. John's very good at shooting, and he's very, very smart. He's interesting to talk to, but he doesn't talk a lot. Then we have Kim, who's a storyteller, and John will be like, yeah, just grip the gun harder and shoot it straight. And Kim will be like, well, it's actually because this is what's going on. The gun's oscillating. Let me explain to you why. And John
let me bring out my calculator.
Yes. Kim will give you a scientific answer, and John will just say, grip the gun harder, dummy. Maybe not the dummy part.
He won't say dummy.
He won't. But anyway, it'll make for a very fun group. So Ben and Andreas are doing blocks. Who else? Wanchik and Rob. Ben, we got Malin Hall helping us out. Me and Andreas. Yep. So anyway, it'll be fun matchups, just to have different perspectives and different experiences in shooting.
Well, yeah, and so when we were putting together, hey, what do we want these blocks to be? I was like, hey, Kim's got a bunch of new drills he came out with. She just put those into a block and make sure people understand them and they're shooting them correctly and all that stuff. That'd be good. and so on. So we went down through the list. Like the block I'm doing with Malin, I'll tell you guys this. He did some private training with me last year, and what it came down to was just working on visualization, visualizing through stages, because he trains all the time. He's just got to learn to manifest it under pressure, and he's gotten a lot better in the last year, moved up a lot. So we're going to do a 3-hour block training visualization, and learning to manifest the skills you have under pressure. And that'll be the whole point of the block, something that I know he's checked out on. So I think like that to me is the cool thing about Summit is I can't do that any other class. I've got a guy that I know is good to go on this topic, and I'll just say, hey, I want you to share this with people, and I think it'll be helpful. So I'm excited for that. Absolutely.
For sure. And then the days kind of, well, you guys are good about just letting me do whatever I want for the schedule, more or less.
Yeah,
but it kind of
absolutely.
builds on each other. So first day will be marksmanship fundamentals. John and Professor doing like how to grip the gun properly and shoot it straight. Then Andreas, risk management, par times, movements, like fundamental stuff. Programming and executions, day 2. And then day 3, like the summary, will be rounding the corners. So talking about like, how to break the rules and color outside the lines, I suppose is a different way of saying it. So it'll be fun. It'll build on each other. There'll be a couple hour lunchtime. So guys can go somewhere for lunch. They can hang out in the range and eat, and then plenty of downtime to train with other members. We'll have Max Leograndis there, which will be fun. So a couple of the homeboys are bringing carbines. So we'll have, a lot of different people to pull knowledge from, and I think it'll be good. Kim, I've talked way too much. Whatever you want to say, sir.
And the summit, not only this year, previous ones as well. Even before I went to the summits, I always got messages from members. Hey, I don't understand this drill, like measurement drill, a confirmation drill. So like this summit is the same case. I have a couple people message me prior to, and hey, can I, ask you a couple things and help me doing this drill during the lunchtime. So those are kind of pretty cool opportunities too, right? Like having, because sometimes you will see a video of a drill, and then you go out there and try that. Oftentimes people either get frustrated not figuring out how to hit the par time or the hits, or they think they hit it but they can't do it consistently, things like that. So definitely the summit, one of the very interesting thing is being able to actually talk to the person face to face, maybe go over the drills together during the lunchtime or after the hours of summit, things like that.
Well, it's basically turning into take a number with people that want to work with Professor one-on-one. So yeah, so many people like, Kim, I want you to talk to me about grip, talk to me about confirmation, talk to me about movement, talk to me about your new drills. So it's cool to have access to the instructor guys.
Yeah. Guys, can I make 2 more points? Because they're 2
Please.
good ones, I think.
Yeah.
One thing I like about Summit is we're going to video all the blocks. So for training group members that aren't there, can't be there, whatever the case may be, we're going to video the block, put it up in the group. Other people that were there, probably including the instructors, can answer questions. So even if you can't go, I mean, honestly, a tiny sliver of our membership is going to be there. Tiny. We understand that. But yeah, we're going to video the blocks so you can see what's going on. And hopefully that's helpful for people. The other thing that I like, I think it bears mentioning, is the summit builds the culture that we want for us. So training group is organized like a forum, even though it's not really a traditional forum where there's people on there chit-chatting about all sorts of different stuff. That's not really what we wanted. And I should say, we don't have that. Like it didn't, we like, hey, we don't want this turning into Enos or that forum or Duty Project. We don't want to turn any of that shit. Want it to be like, hey, if you have a question, ask it. Otherwise, not a bunch of chit chat, not a free for all. And I think that the culture is pretty much what we want, where it's just, guys that are serious about shooting, and it's just for that. And if you want to do other stuff, that's fine too, but it's hyper focused on just shooting and performance shooting and guys who train seriously. And having a summit as a get together helps build that culture, because we're really kind of fostering like, hey, this is what it's about. It's about shooting, training, improvement. That's the focus, and helping each other out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
To add to Ben's points, if you haven't seen, or if you new to Training Group, or if you haven't seen it, we've got all the previous year's blocks in one little section, in a little subforum. So those are easy to navigate to if you want to see previous year's blocks. And then Ben, kind of to piggyback on what you said about like the culture, it's fun because like no one there is going to bring some muzzle loader or some 22 revolver or like some random little garbage to like play with. Everyone's going to be like training. Some guys are bringing carbines, and it's like performance getting better. It's nobody's bringing like random stuff just to like plink with or anything. Like everybody there's really focused about getting better. They have different perspectives, different experience levels. So it's really fun to just, have a conversation with that group, the people with kind of the same mindset, like I guess we do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Do we have anything else to say about this, guys, or are we ready to talk about something else? So we can talk about Training Group generally, because we haven't talked about it in a while, and I think we get a lot of new listeners.
We do. Well, what is Training Group then, guys?
Well, this was Swansik's idea back in 2018, I think, or maybe the end of 2017.
18 is when we meet up and did the work.
Yeah, but this was Swansik's brainchild in 2017. It was like, hey, we need like an online training platform for people. So what it turned into was this online forum, membership-based forum. And then we're going to post up weekly contents. It started with just Kim and I. Every week we put up something. And then I think probably the most interesting part of it was the feedback. So for the higher tiered members, they can put up videos and get feedback on them. And other people can see that, and they can understand more about how to do whatever the other people get the feedback on. The middle tier members, their feedback is public to the other members, so other people can learn from that, and that's very helpful. Mm-hmm. And then we have the highest tiered members have a private section, and they're getting weekly feedback if they want that much, and they get a training plan, and all of that stuff's private for them. But what we have is kind of it turned into like a multi-tiered service, really, where you can be a member there and see what's coming, like the stuff that gets posted, read everything, where you can get a little bit of feedback, or you can get a lot of feedback. You can kind of do it the way you want to do it. And at this point now, since we've been going since 2018, at this point you've got Joel, when did you launch your podcast? You have 60 episodes? 66
we're like 66 episodes in on that.
So Joel's been doing a podcast that's 66 episodes deep. The back half of that podcast is only available in Training Group. The front half of it's public. Kim and I have each put up a video a week now for more than 3 years. So there's, hundreds and hundreds of pieces of instructional content. It might be a 2-minute quick rant, or it might be an hour-long class dump video. I mean, there's quite a lot of different things in there. It's for people to go watch. Probably the class videos, a lot of the full class videos would be a big draw for people. Most of the classes are taught by me, but other people have gone and seen other classes, like Matt Pranka, Frank Proctor. You did a Heron class.
Yep,
Joel.
Modern Samurai Project class.
Samurai Project. So
Mason Lane.
Mason. Oh yeah, I did a Mason. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there. And then Swansik has study sessions, which are long form presentations about very specific topics. Yeah. Probably
like how to train, what to train.
Yeah. So at this point, there's probably too much shit. Like if you just got into shooting 6 months ago and you joined this, it would be like, holy shit. I mean, there's tons of stuff in there.
I probably need to do an updated like where to start video. I made one of those before where it was like, hey, here's kind of the highlights of like, check this stuff out first.
And one of the benefits of Gold membership is we give training plans, of course, but we usually give them the proper links. Like, hey, you need to work on, let's say, shooting on the move. Then we usually give them the links to those related drill or mechanical like training videos, technique videos. And one thing is, I mean, we have Gold members that pretty much started since we launched the website. And one of the gold members started good shooter, but now he's a top shooter, and we have 1,000 posts since he joined the gold member. So gold members get their own private forum where only the instructors and the shooter itself, the member itself, can access to. So like that member has over 1,000 posts, and we have a couple that's over like 500, 600, 700 posts in between instructors and them. Of course, every shooter joins at a different level, but I don't think we have any shooter that joined and didn't have exponential speed of improvements. Yeah, that's the exciting part of training group, because we see people join and actually like train and get better very quickly.
Well, like Kim, I don't want to put words in your mouth, or I'll let you run with it. But that was the goal of training group, right? Was getting as good as helping people get as good as shooting as they can the quickest.
Mm-hmm. And one of the purpose of training group is to actually give out the so to say proven resources. Because nowadays it's very difficult to go simply YouTube or Facebook, Instagram and try to find a material that's actually up to date and verified skills, so to say. The training group is definitely the place to find them.
Tell me more.
Because I mean, the funny thing is, once like a skill is announced or published, let's say confirmation drill, for example, it usually takes a certain amount of time for top shooters to apply that, and usually takes more time to have all the competitor shooters apply that. And then it takes a lot longer for like military law enforcement to apply that, right? And then it goes to like regular civilians. So to say, like the videos on YouTube, a lot of the videos are so outdated, and people talk those as of like, hey, this is the new stuff. But like, no, there's you guys are behind. You like 100% target focus shooting kind of thing, and like people get so aggravated by seeing people shooting with the dot covered in the front optic window, right? Taped up, all those kind of
triggers
stuff.
Some people.
Just can't help myself.
Yes. Yeah, and I can say like that is a great tool, and in the future, like people start realizing more of what it actually do. And people start realizing, oh, like this is what, like for example, training group was talking about years ago. And
yes.
Yeah.
Or doubles, or yes.
Reactive shooting, predictive shooting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
Many
confirmation.
Many interesting concepts.
Yeah. Track the A zone.
Yeah.
Wall hacking. Yes.
Yeah, we definitely substituted a lot of the wrong terms. Like, for example, shot calling, we definitely substituted that. Confirmation, for sure. And gun up, substituted by track the A zone. Lead with the eyes is substituted by just maximizing your vision speed. You don't want to just lead. You have to move at a humanly maximum possible speed. Leading is the result of it, simply. Like gun up doesn't matter if you're pointing the gun on the wrong place. You actually have to track the A zone, gun up on your eye line with the proper index, things like that. So,
yeah. Well, plus it's super fun that we all have obviously different perspectives and training styles. That makes it fun. Also, I've noticed that because we could all three be talking about the same thing, but maybe using different terms or drills or different ways to relate it. And somebody, you've seen a better chance of having that click with somebody explaining it different ways compared to maybe a different service where it's just one person or just one person on a podcast or a channel or whatever. So anyway, I think that having different perspectives and different ways of explaining things is really good for getting through to people, because we know everybody learns differently. So
yes, but there's definitely more effective ways to convey the information for sure.
Big facts.
Yeah, because one small story is when I first heard prep the trigger, I was ADing the whole time because I'm trying to step at the wall and my trigger didn't have the wall. It was actually in a class where the teacher was telling me to prep, and I was going ba-da, and
the terminology you use is important, isn't it?
Yes. So I teach people to pull the trigger gradually, And if you're pulling the trigger gradually in a manner of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds, rather than I was prepping in a way 1, 4, 5. Does that make sense? Like straight 4 pound. And then sometimes if the trigger is like 4.5, I'm straight through with the extra tension. Sometimes, cold hands, all that stuff. But gradual trigger pull, you can definitely pause if you have to. And you can just pull it gradually all the way. And the terminology really matters.
Well, guys, I know we didn't do a traditional show today, but this was good, right?
Yeah.
I think this was excellent.
So we're excited for Summit.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well,
Skin.
you know what? Today was a real banger of a podcast, guys. So it's good to talk about training group now and again, just so the new people get it. They know what we're always banging on about.
Oh, and if you want to plug my stuff, you could search
What
your favorite podcast app for Training Group Live if you want to check out.
Well, yeah, that's actually a good way to start. I mean, if you're on the fence about Training Group, give the Training Group Live give that a try.
Yeah, it's free. Listen to it. See if you like what we're talking about.
Yeah. But that's one. I guess there's 3 content pillars, and that's one of them. So there's plenty of stuff on there.
Yeah.
All right, listeners, if you have a question you'd like to answer, go to bensicker.com. Send me your question. We'd love to hear from you, and I'll be seeing you guys
Very soon.
I'll be seeing you guys soon. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very exciting.